Welcome. In front of me is a HUAWEI MatePad Pro from 2022, and this is the 12-inch version. And today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this tablet. So anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to begin with a bunch of display options. So let's open up settings and navigate to display and brightness, which there we go, I have already opened. And in here we can start off with the dark mode. So this will basically turn the entire theme of the device into dark mode. Now, unlike other HUAWEI devices, this surprisingly actually has some more options in there. Well, congrats HUAWEI, you actually did something correctly. So we finally added options that were accessible to other devices for years. So we have schedule and enable all day. Enable all day basically means that it's 24/7, while schedule basically enables wait, let me actually check this. Yeah, so this is just a toggle. So yeah, schedule will add you a couple options right here, and start and end time. And this will define when the dark mode actually turns on. So it would start from 10 till 7 a.m. At 7 a.m. it would switch back to light mode, which I am right now in. And for some, okay, it's just 8:30. So I would still, actually it's even different time here. So it would still need to be like 3.5 hours before it switches to dark mode. But you can obviously switch it to dark mode yourself like this and have it permanently in dark mode. Now tablets probably will be a little bit better for just permanent dark mode, unlike phones, just because you won't take them outside as often probably. While phones, you most likely use them outside during the day. It's sunny, it's hard to see dark mode, so yeah. Which is kind of ironic that tablet that you won't be taking outside has the schedule mode while the phones do not, whatever. Anyway, let's move on to, I'm just gonna turn it off, to other options like Ebook Mode in here. So this won't necessarily be what you probably expect from an ebook mode. Usually the screen turns kind of like yellowish, kind of to mimic a paper. Here it's just full on. There we go. I was getting confused for a moment because it started turning yellow. So yeah, you can see that here it's just full on monochrome. And yeah, everything just becomes black and white, or just some shade of gray more accurately. So on camera it's not as visible, but it does also add kind of like a yellowish tint to this grayish tone, which is kind of, I guess, probably closer to like, I don't even know, it kind of resembles more like a weird discolored blue, but the camera isn't picking it up, so yeah. Anyway, moving on, we will have a color mode somewhere in here. There we go, color. And we have some additional toggle which I haven't ever seen. So natural tone, automatically adjust color temperature based on ambient light for a consistent paper-like viewing experience. Now usually I think all the devices do this naturally, so I'm not sure why it's even a toggle in here, but see if I turn it on, does it change anything? I don't really see a difference. But under color mode and temperature, you will most likely see a difference. So by default, HUAWEI actually opts into a normal mode, which supposedly represents a little bit of like a color space of sRGB or P3, which they don't really specify to what extent, no percentages. So I have no idea how accurate the sRGB in here is. So yeah, I have nothing to actually test it out, but I personally prefer normal, just because, just because it's a little bit more toned down. Vivid usually is overdone, though here it's in a reasonable state comparing to some other brands that just overcrank the heck out of Vivid. So yeah. Oh, sorry for that. Anyway, let's move over. Actually, I'm gonna stick a little bit longer with this one. So we have the two modes, though this is completely up to preference. Obviously there is no right or wrong option right here. I personally prefer natural, even though It supposedly has some modicum of color accuracy. It's, at the end of the day, whatever you prefer more. You don't need a color accurate display, neither do I. The only reason why I like it is just because it's a little bit more toned down and not as, the colors aren't as just bright. That's basically it. You know, like my colors, like I like my life, gray and colorless. So anyway, let's move over to the next option, which will be, let's go back, which will be the refresh rate, which you can find right here. Now, by default, the phone, not the phone, the tablet, sets it to be at dynamic. Now, I'm pretty sure that in here I probably won't find the refresh rate toggle in developer options as well, so I'm not even gonna waste my time checking for it. The phones didn't have it. I assume here it's gonna be the same. Anyway, so sticking on this in the most rudimentary way, dynamic will be the best option for everybody who wants to have a relatively okay battery life plus a 120 Hz refresh rate on your display. For everybody else who just wants to straight up prioritize battery life and nothing else, stick with the 60. High shouldn't be considered for anything by anybody just because it wastes battery while achieving constant 120 Hz refresh rate that at times where you don't need it. As an example, that time would be right now. This display right now there's nothing moving on it. There's nothing that could take advantage of 120 Hz refresh rate, thus it doesn't need to run at that refresh rate. Honestly, it could be running right now at 0 refresh rate. It could be a paper ink, right? And have no refresh rate whatsoever. As long as I don't move the display, I can't really tell the difference if it's running at 120 or 1 Hertz, or not even at all. So dynamic will be better just because when the screen isn't moving, like for instance right now it would be, when the screen is just stationary, it switches to 60, preserving a little bit of the battery as much as it can. Now the reason I'm saying jumps to 60 while some other phones can go all the way to like 2 Hertz, 1 Hertz, is because it doesn't specify it right here, and I cannot check it using refresh rate just because this phone doesn't have any refresh rate options in developer options. So I have no way of actually clarify what the refresh rate when the image is stationary is. So I'm assuming it's 60. Anyway, moving on to next option. It's going to be the system navigation. Now by default I have been using for the entire time just the default gesture that I believe you set up throughout the setup process of the tablet, but you have the two options accessible under system and update, system navigation, and you have the one that I'm using right now, or the 3-button navigation, which just brings back the back, home, and a recent button. Personally, I do prefer the gestures, which, why the heck do you give me the tutorial? I literally just switched from it, so I don't need that again. So yeah, you can choose your desired gesture navigation, or not gesture, desired navigation in here. Let's see. Moving on to another option, which I kind of wanted to show, but I guess it doesn't exist in here. I'm gonna quickly search for it. It should be in here, but I don't see it. Yep, nope, there is no such a thing in here. So I'm gonna just skip, I guess, one that I had and move over to next one, which would be associated with a dock. So when you open something up, I believe we should be able to bring it up somehow. Come on, how do you bring it up in here? Oh, for goodness sake, I can't figure out how to bring up the dock. Never mind, I'm just gonna skip this one. But sticking anyway with the dock, you can resize it so you can show less tabs in here. Come on, there we go. We can add more things into it, though apparently if you add more, it just completely gets rid of the recents. So that's a little bit, oh, there we go. It brings it back. I guess it just resets it. So there we go. So you can add more tabs, you can minimize this. So there we go. I'm pretty sure there is a way to bring up the dock somehow. I just can't figure it out how. I'm just a boomer, so forgive me for that. Anyway, another thing that I wanted to show, which is also on the home screen, is the usability of some of the apps, which you can see some of them have this like line under them. Not all, just some. So you can see Themes has it, Photos, which has it, Browser, and a couple other apps along the line. And as you just seen, you can just kind of interact with them by just swiping up on them, and it gives you some additional usability of the app. So for instance, here you can just open up bookmarks or scan a QR code, which it's kind of weird considering the browser has it, but okay. Camera, you can just choose what you want to do: selfie, a video, portrait, photo, whatever. Just a quick launch of anything that you want. So as you can see, you can pretty quickly launch it if it didn't pop up with some guide right here. So anyway, there are some other things like music, so it allows you to control it. Let's see, search gives you voice search, I think image search, that's what it is, I think. Shopping, trash, what else is there? Meet Time, that's from Google. I never used it, don't know what that actually is. Emails, I assume it would show you just new inbox emails. So yeah, but yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show. That would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I had in the store for you. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.